The bright studio lights of Gutfeld glared down, reflecting off the polished desk and the row of cameras waiting to capture every moment. Greg Gutfeld adjusted his microphone, his signature smirk forming as the audience settled into silence. Today's segment was controversial. He was set to discuss Meghan Markle's latest statements about the British royal family, statements that had sent waves through social media. Meghan's team had released a pre-recorded video addressing her critics, her poised yet firm voice cutting through the online chatter. But Greg wasn't here to sugarcoat anything. He leaned forward, arms resting on the desk, eyes narrowed. "Let's call it what it is," he began, the tension in the room palpable. Narrative carefully crafted to evoke sympathy while ignoring inconvenient truths. The cameras zoomed in as Greg dissected each of Meghan's claims, pausing to highlight inconsistencies and moments of contradiction. "You say you want privacy," he said, his voice measured but sharp. "Yet every move is meticulously documented and shared with your public. It's a paradox no one can ignore." The audience shifted, a mix of gasps and murmurs echoing through the studio. Greg's co-hosts exchanged glances, sensing the rising tension. For Greg, this was not about cruelty, it was about accountability. He referenced interviews, public records, and Meghan's own statements, stringing them together like a precise argument in a courtroom. The energy in the room was electric, a clash between celebrity influence and media scrutiny. As the segment ended, the camera lingered on Greg's stern expression. He knew the controversy would explode online, trending within minutes, but he was ready for the fallout. This wasn't just a debate, it was a spectacle, one that he intended to dominate with sharp wit and unflinching critique. By the next morning, social media was ablaze. Clips from the Gutfeld segment had gone viral, with hashtags trending in multiple countries. Supporters praised Greg for his fearless approach, calling it a masterclass in journalistic honesty. Critics, however, accused him of bullying and disrespect, claiming the segment had crossed a line. Greg sat in his office, watching the metrics climb on multiple screens. Notifications pinged endlessly, some positive, some scathing. Yet he remained composed, sipping coffee and analyzing the narrative. He knew that once Meghan's team responded, the story would grow exponentially. The controversy escalated as talk shows debated the legitimacy of Greg's critique. Panelists dissected every word, while journalists scrambled to fact-check, each new article adding fuel to the fire. Greg remained at the center, a calm eye amid the storm. He had anticipated this response, understanding that public opinion was as much a weapon as any argument he could make. Meanwhile, Meghan's team prepared a statement, addressing the segment without acknowledging Greg directly. They called it a misrepresentation of intentions, urging the public to consider context. But the internet had already formed its verdict. Memes circulated, video edits went viral, and opinion pieces multiplied like wildfire. Greg watched it all unfold with a quiet satisfaction. His goal was never to silence Meghan, but to challenge the narrative. In this battle of words and perception, he had shifted the conversation. Whether one agreed with him or not, the result was undeniable. He had seized control of the discourse, forcing the public to confront uncomfortable questions they might have otherwise ignored. A week later, Greg returned to the studio, ready for the follow-up segment. Ratings had skyrocketed, advertisers were calling, and the network executives were buzzing with excitement over the attention. Greg leaned into the camera, his expression a mix of amusement and determination. He began by addressing the public reaction, weaving humor into his sharp critique. "Apparently telling the truth is controversial these days," he quipped, eliciting laughter from the live audience. Then he dissected the backlash with surgical precision, examining claims of bias, accusations of bullying, and the reactions of Meghan's supporters. Each point was met with examples, facts, and the occasional sardonic remark, reinforcing his reputation as a formidable media presence. The segment reached its climax when Greg replayed select clips from Meghan's pre-recorded statements, pausing to highlight discrepancies and contradictions. The tension in the studio was electric. For viewers, it felt like witnessing a verbal duel, with every word scrutinized and every argument tested. By the end, Greg leaned back, allowing silence to hang for a moment before concluding. "We're not here to vilify," he said, voice steady. "We're here to question, to analyze, and to hold public figures accountable for the stories they choose to tell." The audience erupted in applause, some nodding in agreement, others simply captivated by the intensity. As the cameras cut, social media ignited once more. Clips from the follow-up segment were shared millions of times. Debates flared across forums, and Greg's name dominated trending lists. In the world of media warfare, he had not only defended his position, but had turned controversy into a powerful display of influence. Greg smiled, knowing the debate was far from over. But for now, he had done what he set out to do. He had confronted Meghan Markle's narrative head-on, sparking discussion, stirring emotion, and leaving a mark that would resonate far beyond the confines of a single television show.